Oh, what's happening, friends? Sean here. How you doing? Thought I'd come over and say hi for a minute. Just kind of picked a random spot in the house to pop in, see what everybody's up to. But anyways, it's been a while since I've been able to swing around here and get a hello in, but wanted to do that for a minute. So, how the heck are you? Been a lot going on in the world the last few years. Got myself a little MrHeroSupport t-shirt here. If you haven't seen that, that's kind of fun. Something new that I've been up to. So, for those of you that don't know, my name is Sean Fury, and I work by day as a licensed alcohol and drug counselor in the state where I live. I work with people who are incarcerated at a local correctional facility, and I work part-time at a restaurant, and so I'm pretty busy. I'm a dad, and trying to survive the apocalypse like the rest of you. So it's not that easy, right? A lot going on in the world right now. We're dealing with a lot of high prices for housing here in New England, where I'm from, and a lot of gas prices are super high. I think back in 2020, I was paying $20 to fill up my tank. Now I'm paying 45. So that's more than doubled, right? So that's kind of crazy to think about. Let me adjust my thing here. And but also what else is going on? Lots of sad things on the news lately, of course. Wars and rumors of wars, right? We got all kinds of drama on the news. That sucks. I think that the news is really demoralizing, right? And so aren't all these high gas prices and that type of stuff that we're dealing with. Just really can bum you out. But no wonder, it's there's been an increase in people using drugs and alcohol, suicidal ideation, or thinking about people thinking about unaliving themselves, which is very sad. I'm not thinking about that personally, but I can see how a lot of people would be struggling with that, right? People are becoming homeless, they're losing their stability in their life, and that's just a major bummer, right? People get really sad. I guess the reason I'm bringing that up is because I think that demoralization is really sort of the enemy of life and aliveness, right? Or I describe, a lot of what I do with my life management coaching and peer support work is trying to get people to see themselves as having the power to influence situations and then choosing to use that power in ways that create the day-to-day circumstances that they want to experience on a regular basis, right? So if you want to have a good day or a good time each day as much as you can, you have to set that up ahead of time, right? Um, I use examples sometimes that can be a little bit, awkward if you aren't familiar with the way I communicate. But like some people go to like exotic dance clubs, right? And they put down a dollar bill in order for somebody to dance and give them attention. And even though that environment is totally fake, nonetheless, the person that's the observer or the experiencer of that environment, they still go away feeling happy with a smile on their face, right? That somebody was giving them attention, that someone was interacting with them, making them feel like they mattered, right? This is why people learn customer service skills at the different jobs we work at so that the customer can have a good experience, right? Because people who have a good experience are more likely to come back. So it's really pretty intuitively obvious if you think about it that we don't want people to become demoralized, right? That means they become so discouraged and just, kind of like burnout, but it's like an energetic, emotional experience. Emotional distress is happening so much that it's like that learned helplessness that somebody can develop when they just keep getting shocked by life, right? Just like those experiments that were pretty cruel and inhumane in the old days where they did them on like dogs, I think, where the dog would get like a shock on its feet and then it would jump and then it would get shocked again. And then every time it moved anywhere, it still got the little shock. And eventually it just realized that it's not going to be able to win. And so it just gives up. And I think you have a lot of people struggling or on the verge of doing that, struggling with that or on the verge of doing that. And so that's what I kind of see what the work that I'm doing as a counselor and as a life coach is to combat that in a nonviolent, peaceful manner, right? That I joke about how it's Sean versus the man. And to me, the man is oppression as a social experience. It's an experience of being in a social group structure or social ecosystem that is set up in a way where it's okay to mistreat some people. Some people are less valuable. Some people don't matter as much as others, right? And so it's okay to shit on them. And it's not okay for them to shit back on the other guy, but it is okay for them to get shit on, right? So it's one thing I like about being a counselor, is that there's a strong movement in the field right now to treat everybody with equality of value, which is a human need that we all have, right? No matter where we're from. If you don't feel like you're being treated with dignity, you're more likely to experience emotional distress, or if that happens consistently, that could lead to that demoralization that I talked about. In the recovery field, they call it a case of the fuck it's that where people don't give a fuck about what's going on in their life, right? So um, we want people to care, to give a f about it, right? So in order for that to happen, we need to create uh, something that inspires people. We need to do things that is inspiring so that people will not slide into that demoralization. This is just one of the ideas that I've been thinking about lately. So, for example, there's a cool song by the band Starset, which I think is called Solstice. But he says that the singer says, "Don't let me let the dark take over. You take the pain away. You take the pain away. And whatever you do, don't let me let the dark take over." And I think that's a great example of what I mean by demoralization as an internal experience of oppression. When people are in a situation that seems to be oppressive, on a psychological level where nothing you can do will ever allow you to win. There's no winning for you, right? You're always on the bottom. You're always the scapegoat, getting pushed down, beat up, hurt in whatever manner, emotionally, physically, socially. When that happens, you're going to feel really badly about yourself, right? You're not going to like that experience. Just move this a little bit. So, um, so we want to try to create environments that are energizing, and I talk a lot about that at my mobile support system for creating your life, right? Called Heroify. And it's at heroify.passion.io. That's HEROIFY, heroify.passion.io. Um, by the way, you don't have to put in the www for that, because sometimes when you do, it comes up with this certificate issue where it looks like it's like a fake site, but it's not. It's a real site. But in that app that you can download to your phone, and that way you can go to the web page anytime you want. It's called the Progressive Web app. It'll allow you to see the different things that I'm working on, um, the different skills and habits and knowledge that you can learn how to utilize and apply in your day-to-day life, so that you can make sure that what you're doing is not creating oppression as a social experience, right? So that you can do things that inspires people and helps people to feel invigorated and energized, in order that way they're more likely to want to engage, to want to buy in to the recovery process, or to the process of just being and doing things that lead them to their full potential, their humanity. Um, so, guys, I'm going to be trying to pop in on these lives more and more often as part of promoting my app, which is at a point now where it can be utilized easily. And it's $5 a month. And I'm going to be offering this kind of support where you can chat with me and talk about how things are going, so that you can keep your morale up, your spirits up, and try to prevent demoralization. One of the things that I'm good at, is turning mundane things into extraordinary things, like making the mundane seem amazing, right? The everyday boring things that we do, we might not think it's a big deal, but it actually is a big deal, because the only way to get to that awesome life experience is to do those little things bit by bit until it builds up to that. So, anyways, guys, if you're someone that wants to figure stuff out, you want to get your life back on track, or you want to set yourself up for success. Um, if you want to save yourself 50 years of trying to figure it all out on your own, um, going to a therapist and a counselor is nice, but they usually just want to listen to you talk, right? And most of the time, they're going to give you some tidbits of information, but they don't typically ever give you a comprehensive understanding, a frame of reference for all the things that you need to know in order to be able to actually create the kind of situations in which better experiences can happen on a regular basis, right? And they're definitely not going to challenge you when you show yourself, doing things that are actually destructive in your life, right? Because most people that are getting paid to help you, they don't want to piss you off. They don't want to upset you, right? So this is one of the reasons why I'm only charging $5 a month, because that way you can just watch the videos, you can learn from it. If you don't like the content, then you don't have to participate, or you can tell me what you don't like, and maybe I can make it better. But it's non-confrontational, right? So my thing is all about just supporting you. But the other thing you have to do is, when you start taking initiative and improving your world, you got to be able to protect it, right? So if somebody comes in and they start trying to like mistreat you or others, or they start trying to do things that tears down or destroys the good social conditions that you've created over time, you got to be able to say no to them and stop them from breaking down what you've been building up, right? So there's all kinds of different components of this. You have to get yourself built for life, in the sense that you need to develop your own behaviors and patterns of behaviors and thought processes and beliefs and values, right? And attitudes that are going to be conducive to being well and doing well as a manager of your day-to-day life, so that you can get those good outcomes. But you're also going to have to know what to look for, how to deal with things that threaten that good life situation that you're trying to build. You need to know how to interact with people and with yourself, and to be able to face yourself and the truth of the things that are happening in your life. If you're afraid of, you know facing that, then you might never work on it, right? So it's your journey, You don't have to work on it if you don't want to, but things aren't going to change if you don't. And so I've put a great deal of effort into creating an opportunity for you to learn about stuff that you're going to need to know, right? If you want to have a good day on a regular basis, no matter where you are physically on the planet. It works for everyone, whether you have a lot of money or don't, or what your ethnicity is, or your gender, or your political affiliation, or your background. The point is, we all have experiences. Why not try to manage our life for good experiences so that no matter where we are while we're alive, we can have good experiences whenever possible, right? Obviously, we're not always going to have good experiences, but we can do our best to try to create them. And I think you'll find that you get a lot more done. You're more productive if you try on purpose to create good experiences for yourself and for others and for the people in your care. And if you just try not to ruin the experiences of other people, right? That's a pretty cool thing. So, like I said, my name is Sean Fury. I describe myself as a guide to the good life, your friendly neighborhood guide to the good life. That's my little, I like superheroes and comics and movies. So I've used heroism and character types and movie scenes and movie titles and stuff as a way of getting you to understand these more abstract concepts around lifescape management, experience modification, right? Or lifescape modification, right? Situation modification. We're changing the situation in order to have experiences that are better or good, right? So we're doing experience management, situation modification, right? So and you might think, who is this quack, just talking about all this crazy stuff? But actually I have 15 years experience working in the behavioral health field. 15 years. 555. 15 years experience working in behavioral health. I've been a licensed alcohol and drug counselor in one way or another for 7 years. And I've helped thousands of people to get off heroin and to get onto Suboxone, or also to taper off of anything, just so that, whenever they're comfortable. But I also, aside from doing the counseling thing, I've worked with people that were homeless. I've worked with people who were kids in a group home. I've worked with other people that were incarcerated at different places, and men who were convicted of domestic violence and were in a rehab, company type of thing for that. And what I realized is, in all of those situations, everybody was really just trying to figure out how to manage their circumstances for positive life outcomes. And what I was doing was acting as a kind of situation improvement strategist. So, uh, what all those people had in common is they were doing things without really meaning to, without realizing it. They were making poor choices because they had a poor understanding of what was going on, right? They lacked knowledge or information. They didn't have the skill sets and the tools that they needed. And I grew up not getting them either, right? So um, what I came to realize is that bad things are happening either because you're in a toxic, dysfunctional environment and you're there so long that it kind of destroys your morale and you become demoralized. And then you stop caring as a way of protecting yourself. You shut off your thinking switch, you shut off your feelings, you shut off your intuition, you shut off your noticing, right, with your senses. You learn how to be like tough as nails and armor up. And you stop caring about your impact or the effect you're having on other people. And unfortunately, that means you're no longer going to be vibing with life and with yourself. and having a connection, right? Like a tree that has roots that connect to its environment in the soil. You need to have that same open connection as well. And you only get that when you turn those faculties back on in your body's physiology. And then you have to get the poison out, right? That you've been accumulating all these years in the sense of like toxic energy and, through emotional, pent up, repressed stuff. And you can get into all that with like a mental health clinician. Because like I said, what I'm doing here is for my life management coaching business. I have a life coaching and peer support license, an LLC. And as part of that, I have my mobile support system called Heroify, where you can get you get access to a library of information, the knowledge, the skills, the habits. I've spent the past 10 years studying and writing all this information so that you don't have to do that. You could just go to the website and learn about all these same things that I've come to understand and apply in my life that have helped me. Um, and you also can get support through these type of live chat opportunities and through like a monthly webinar where we can get together and talk in like a Zoom or Google meeting setting. And there's also like a group in there, just like you see in other sites online, where you can chat with each other and you can message me and you can text me through that. And I can reply with like a video text, and we can do email and whatnot. But that's why I'm able to afford that. I just keep the price low at $5 a month because I'm doing sort of that group kind of coaching and interacting with you through those mediums that are readily available and easily accessible to everybody, right? If you want to have a little bit more of a personal discussion with me, like one-on-one over the phone or over a video call with just you and me, I charge $10 for 30 minutes for that, and I charge um, $20 for 60 minutes. So basically $20 an hour. That's a fantastic deal considering my level of expertise is at the point where I could have a private practice for drug and alcohol counseling, right? So we're not going to be doing drug and alcohol counseling together. What we're going to be doing is life coaching. But I'm going to utilize my skill set to try to help you move toward your goals and achieve your vision for the future in a way that is good for your humanity, right? So whether you're in recovery or you're not in recovery, this is for anybody and everybody, right? Because that's the thing a lot of people don't realize is that doing something that's good for recovery is really just means doing something that's good for you as a human being, as an organism that's alive, right? Being able to notice and think and feel and have intuition and relate with people, a sense of community, and being able to believe in yourself and having a high level of understanding and skills so that you can navigate through obstacles and opposition that arise in your day-to-day life. And that way you're able to increase your ability to create the life you want, and you're able to increase your staying power so that you can execute all the tasks that need to be accomplished, so you can complete the task or perform the task well, so that the actual mission gets completed, right? So for example, I've been working on this concept for 10 years now, maybe more, maybe like 12 years actually. And I've had to start over again a billion times, right? So as an entrepreneur, but I knew that the concept would make sense, and so that's why I'm doing it. And so inside of the app, you're able to create a plan for yourself about what you want to work on this month and or today or tomorrow. And then that just helps you to organize your thought process, focus your attention, and kind of crystallize a plan, right? Or prioritize action steps that you can take to improve your day-to-day situation in a very practical, real world way. So, for example, if you're in a situation where you need housing What's a goal that you could work on? Filling out a housing application, right? So you got to go get one first. And before you can go get one, you got to find out what's available. So you got to go online and look for housing, right? So it's important that you actually nail down what the actual steps are that you need to do. That way you don't waste time just hoping for the best. Instead, you figure out and formulate a plan, and then you act on it and make it happen, right? So that you're prioritizing the things that you value in your day-to-day life. You're not just hoping it works out, you're ensuring that it works out. So, as someone that has done this personally, I know a lot about it, and pretty much I know more about it than anybody I know. So, including counselors. Um, but that's because where other people have been afraid of looking at themselves, or they've been afraid of going against what the group wants, or they've been afraid of getting someone mad at them if they don't go along to get along. They're afraid because they think if they don't people please, then someone's going to reject them, or and they will get rejected. Let's be honest. That's a lot of reason why people don't do it. But I know all about that. I've been rejected billions of times, but you know what? I've also been embraced billions of times. The difference is this time I only get rejected by people that don't want to do the work, or they are threatened or insecure or envious of the things that I'm doing, because I treat people very well and I do a really good job and I work hard, and I really care about the process. So um, I grew up in a family where there was a lot of domestic violence going on. I've experienced childhood mistreatment firsthand, physically against myself, by my dad, who's dead now. He died of alcoholism after spending 20 years homeless out in the streets of Vegas. Um, and, I know what it's like to go away and go in the military for 4 years. I was in during peacetime. I got out in 2000. Um, and I know what it's like to be the first person in my family to go get a bachelor's degree, and then, you know, come back home and find out people are envious about it. Um, I know what it's like to want to break the cycle and create a better future for my offspring, right? For my children. And I've done that. But in the process, I had to set limits with a lot of people who weren't used to that. And they got very, very offended, right? Because I grew up in a very narcissistic culture that was all about people pleasing the oppressor in my family, which was being played out by my dad, um, primarily, but also by the enablers in the environment as well. And so, in order to dismantle that oppressive social ecosystem, I had to not be like my dad, or like my mom, or like a lot of the people that were around them. And I had to start doing things differently and start from scratch to build up new. It takes a massive life overhaul to achieve this goal of having a life that's free of social oppression. And hopefully, it's going to be a lot easier for you than it was for me. Because unlike you, I did not have a hero support guy. I didn't have somebody trying to support me to intervene and improve situations, right? Batman tries to intervene and improve the situation, right? He's a hero. That's what heroes do. They intervene to improve situations. Alfred's a hero support guy. He supports Batman. He helps equip him with the tools that he needs to achieve his mission. So if you're on a mission to create an awesome life for yourself and for your family, and you want to do it in a way that's good for yourself and others, then I want to be your guy, your hero support guy. Guy stands for guide to the ultimate you, right? It's not a gender thing. It's a guide to the ultimate you. Someone that wants to help you to become an empowered problem solver. So I play kind of an empowermentor role, success strategist role, and a progress partner role, right? Because I'm going to inspire you and point the way towards what I think I'm hearing you say would be success for you, right? You want to be a basketball player, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be someone that's in recovery, you want to be sober. That's your idea of winning. And I'm going to help to encourage you and applaud you every time I see you making steps towards that in a way that's also good for you as a human being, not based on my opinion, but based on scientific, objective, best practice standards that you can find, for example, at the SAMHSA website about recovery, or you can find in the psychology journals about positive psychology. They call it flourishing. And those things have been proven to that people do better when they are in those kind of states, right? Of being or of situations that are conducive to their own psychosocial health and behavioral functioning, right? So you might not know what that is, but if you go to my page, you will learn about it. I have trainings all about that. And these are big words that can be a turnoff to some people. But unfortunately, if you want to have a better life, you have to learn these new words, whether you like it or not, right? There's only one way to succeed in that regard, and that's you being a better manager. You have to improve, you have to intervene to improve your situation. People are always saying, there's many ways to succeed, Sean, and that's true. But if you look at what they all have in common underneath, they all intervened to improve a situation. That means doing things in a way that's good for them as a human, community, connection, inclusion, safety, hope, empowerment, freedom of movement, free speech, right? It's one of those things. Getting to express creative self expression, getting to be who you are. These are all nutrient rich social experiences that we need to have in our social environment in order for us to grow and reach our full potential. Um, So if that sounds appealing to you guys, I definitely encourage you to check out heroify.passion.io and support me and what I'm doing. Um, I've got some ebooks for sale on Amazon as well that you can check out about habits and skills and knowledge and uh, problem solving journeys, based off of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey concept. And I'd love to have you be a participant, right, and work with you. But anyways, I'm getting kind of tired now, so I'm going to wrap up. And we've spent about a half an hour together. Hopefully that wets your whistle, gives you some idea about who I am and what I'm up to, and you'll come and check it out. And have a great day, guys. If you want to find this live stream, it's going to be at the heroify.passion.io webpage under the group support section. If you look down, it'll say live interactive group chat, and you just click on that, and it'll pop up a little thumbnail of this YouTube video. So I'll also try to post it on my social media sites. I think I'm on Instagram and Facebook at the moment, but we'll see where else we end up. And I'm going to try to get on here again this week. So be looking around if you see me, and I'll start to set up a schedule. Have a great day, guys. And if I don't see you, have a great life.